So is the banjo actually a hard instrument to learn? Let's dive into that in this video.
Will literally the same to change your life.
Possibilities become endless. It's like one day you're this person and the next day you're. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mira D, and I'm here to talk to you today about some misconceptions around banjo playing. So, one of the first things we hear, and we hear this very often, is that banjo is a very hard instrument to learn. I will say that if you start your banjo journey off with that mentality, then you are going to have a difficult time because you are already putting yourself in the place of that this is something difficult and not in the place of I am learning a new instrument, I am learning something new, and new things come with challenges. That is going to be your first reframe that helps you when it comes to learning anything new, including the banjo, is that all new things are going to come with challenges. Now, one of the reasons people think that playing the banjo is so hard and so complicated is because they hear all of these fancy rolls, they see how fast the banjo player's fingers are moving, and they hear a lot of like different notes being played at once. What people don't understand is that there is a foundation that we build to be able to do this simply and easily to create this effect. Anything sounds like rocket science or looks like rocket science if you don't understand the foundations of rocket science. So, if you're a baker or a cook, that looks really complicated to somebody who doesn't understand the foundation of how ingredients work together, who doesn't understand how flavors work together. It feels really complicated. So, how often do you see on the internet somebody that sees something and they're like, oh my God, I could never do that. Oh my God, that must be impossible. Oh my God, you must have been born with this. And that is because people don't understand that there are techniques and foundations that create what seems very complicated, pristine, and organized at the end. There was this one video I was watching of a guy who was singing opera, and there were so many comments that were like, how did you learn that you could sing like this? Oh my God, how were you born with this talent? Because people who are watching that video have no idea that there are techniques and trainings that can lead somebody who understands that they have a decent voice to be able to sing those ways. So, to people who don't know the underlying techniques and technology, that everything is going to sing like rocket science to those people. So, when people see the banjo, they assume that this must be something that's really complicated because they hear things like pull offs, hammer-ons, slides. And there are also roll patterns when you're playing, or if you're playing clawhammer, there's also the bum diddy pattern. It is these structures that allow us to do something that sounds complicated, but that actually is a lot simpler than it seems when you understand the foundations of it. So is it complicated to learn the banjo in that way? I don't believe so. As I said, everything comes with its challenges. The other thing is that if you approach the banjo as if it is another instrument, if you approach the banjo comparing it to other instruments, you are going to feel as though you don't understand the instrument because you don't understand the instrument. If you're relating the banjo to anything else, if you're comparing anything to anything else, then you are not related to what it is. So a banjo is its own thing. Regardless of it having strings, regardless of it being played with other instruments, the banjo is its own thing. It has its own techniques, its own sounds, and its own rules. So if we can get ourselves into the space of understanding that without comparing it to something else, that this is something else entirely, this is its own instrument, its own entity, then we can actually get into the space of I want to get to know this for what it is rather than, this is more complicated than. So the last thing I'll say is when it comes to playing styles, I've heard a lot of videos that talk about, oh, this style's easier or that style's easier. It really is all about practice. Every style that you play is going to come with its challenges. And it really just depends on the sound that you're going for. If you're going for something that has lots of chords and something that you can play solo, you're going to want to go for an old time style because that includes all of the chords and that also includes the rhythm. So if you're looking for something to play in an ensemble or something to play with other people, you might want to go the bluegrass or the scruggs style because that actually is mostly notes that requires having some other type of backing of percussion and some other type of backing of harmony to go with it. So it really all is about preference and people create their own styles of music every single day. So don't feel like you have to be boxed into any of these. One of the things I will say is that it is so important to learn the foundations first though so that you can understand this instrument and then it's easier to expand once you understand the instrument from a perspective that already has some type of structure and foundation to it. So that's what I have for you guys today. Go ahead, like this video, share this video, comment down below, and let me know if this video helped you. I will be offering classes very soon about banjo and about helping people to break their creative blocks when it comes to playing music and when it comes to playing instruments. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time. Until then, peace.